Let's talk about the Beyerdynamic DT770s. The first thing we should consider is the application that you're using these headphones for. Are these headphones designed to perform well in your workflow? The first situation I'd like to talk about is studio tracking. If you're a vocalist recording in a booth, these probably won't work for you. Music leaks through the plush ear pads. If the condenser mic is 8 inches from your mouth, it's likely that it will pick up the sound of the music that you're monitoring in the DT770s. However, if you're a drummer, you won't have this issue because the drums will be much louder than the music you're monitoring, and your microphones will be much further away from your head. The problem you will encounter as a drummer is that these cups are not meant to be ear protection. You won't be able to isolate yourself from the noise of your drum set in order to focus on the music you're monitoring. If you're an acoustic guitar player, you're likely going to have a great experience with these headphones while strumming. But if you're finger picking, you'll have similar issues to the Vocalist. Electric and bass guitar players will benefit the most from these headphones because their cab will be several feet away from them and the microphone won't pick up the music that they're monitoring through their headphones. You will also be able to hear your amp just fine through the plush ear cups. Pianists are a mixed bag because every piano is mic'd differently, depending on the sound you're going for. I want to talk about the mixing and mastering engineer. While these headphones are great for this application, if you have a larger budget, you're likely going to want more stereo separation, detail, and better sound stage. But if you have a $200 or $300 budget, these headphones will serve you very well. They'd be a great second set for your guests in the mixing room after you build up a budget for better headphones. The reason I purchased the DT770s was for podcasts and talking head videos. I sit in the room with the talent, so I can monitor what the microphone is picking up. They give me just enough separation from the noise in the room to give me a good idea of how the recording sounds. They have a flat frequency response, which helps me focus on the details of the vocal recording. I really love these headphones for podcast mixing. For casual listening, I can't say that they're fun to listen to like V-modos or beats. The bass is clear and precise, but not boosted like most people enjoy. Also, the midtones are very present. The high frequencies are not overly crispy like you would hear on a headset that's tuned for the majority of people. It's a headset for someone that wants to listen to music the way the audio engineer intended. I found that stereo acoustic live performances and ASMR are very enjoyable to listen to on the DT770. You can hear precise details and subtle, quiet sounds. I think the majority of people wouldn't like these for casual listening, but the few people that like listening to detailed audio would have a lot of fun going back and listen to oldies and hear the Beatles scrape their feet on Abbey Road. Now that we've talked about where these headphones perform well, I'd like to talk about the build quality. Beyerdynamic nailed the comfort on this model. Between the replaceable plush velour ear pads, the clamping pressure, the padded headband, the lightweight materials, these are a headset that I can honestly say I've forgotten that I'm wearing. They are so comfortable. The band is made of a thin but very sturdy aluminum, and it's covered with a very plush pleather wrap. The cups are made of a sturdy plastic. The pads that come pre-installed are made of a soft, breathable foam covered in velour. I don't sweat at all wearing these. And of course, there are tons of replaceable pads that range from leather to memory foam in all sizes, so you can customize the fit for your ears and head. I found that the stock pads are great for my head. Now, with all these customizable, replaceable parts, you would think that Beyerdynamic would make the coiled cable replaceable, but they reserved that feature for their higher end DT1770 model. I find coiled cables annoying because when I turn my head, they bounce in reaction to the movement, which can cause discomfort. And what's worse, it causes a woofing resonant sound inside the headset that woof, 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 which is unfortunate because Beyerdynamic did such a fantastic job using all materials that don't have their own resonant frequency. Like, you can tap on the ear cups and it just sounds like a tap. It doesn't sound like a boom, boom, boom in your headset. These cups are closed back, as opposed to the 990 open back or the 880 semi-open back. The closed back allows me to separate myself from my environment as well as keep what I'm monitoring from leaking out. They advertise 35 decibels of attenuation, but I don't think it's that much ambient noise that they're blocking out. But you have to remember, these headphones are very lightweight and comfortable. They aren't focused on getting excellent decibel attenuation like helicopter or drummer headsets or the remote audio HN7605. What they do offer is a nice separation from your environment so you can focus on your audio. The audio sounds detailed. Quiet sounds are audible and discernible. Loud sounds don't distort. These are the 250 ohm variant. They get loud AF while maintaining clarity. And I think that's the best reason to buy the higher ohm variants of headphones, because the detail is retained even when driving the headphones at a higher decibel. Editing Will here. I think I should point out that even though they're 250 ohms, they're not hard to push. I have a iPhone 8 and Maddie has a Pixel 4a, and both of our phones are able to push these headphones to good listening volumes. In fact, her Pixel 4a is able to make it uncomfortable to listen to. You actually have to turn it down, and I'm able to plug this into my laptop and use it no problem. I just have the volume turned all the way up. The stereo separation is actually quite good, despite the fact that they soldered the neutral legs together because it's a TRS jack. This can actually be easily remedied by installing a mini XLR port and separating the neutral legs. I've installed an 1/8 inch TRS jack because that's what's best for my workflow, and I feel like the stereo separation is good enough for my needs. If you'd like to see a video on where I purchased the parts and tips on how you could do this as well, just leave your question down in the comments and I'll try to answer it in that video. As far as soundstage, these headphones do a great job with acoustic music and ASMR, allowing you to step into a jazz club or feel someone licking your ear. However, they get a little muddy with metal and they can feel busy with techno. Obviously, this is a common issue with those genres, but the flat frequency response causes the issues of a genre to become more apparent. This can make hearing the individual instruments more difficult in techno or metal. It's more difficult to place the instrument in the room and feels more like the band is on a stage in front of you. Whereas with jazz, it feels like you're on the stage surrounded by the instrument. This could come down to the way the sound engineer mixed the track, but I found that the DT770s do better with quieter, more dynamic music. This soundstage could likely be opened up by purchasing the open back DT990s. I haven't spent a lot of time with the 990s, so I can't guarantee that. This flat frequency response makes music, spoken word, sound effects have a very mid-forward tone. That being said, don't think that Bootsy Collins is out back smoking. The bass slaps in these headphones while maintaining detail, not being muddy, not overwhelming the mix. The high frequencies are airy and smooth without being crispy or harsh. DT770s have a very even, smooth sound, and I'm very satisfied with the way Beyerdynamic has done the EQing and tone. Overall, for $200, you aren't gonna find better headphones for mixing. However, don't think that these are gonna compete with $500 or $1,000 sets of headphones designed for mix and master engineers. These do well for certain genres of music, but not all. While these would be an excellent purchase for someone recording music in their bedroom, these wouldn't be the #1 headphone in a recording studio. They have strengths that allow them to punch above their weight class in certain scenarios. Their comfort, detail, and dynamic range, to name a few. Like with every headset, they have their quirks, such as being very mid-forward, allowing a lot of leakage, having a non-detachable coiled cable. I wouldn't say that their negatives make them worth less than $200. In fact, I've heard $600 headphones that don't have the detail of the DT770. As long as your use case is mixing podcasts, talking head videos, sound effects, bedroom recording music, you're going to really enjoy these headphones. If you run a recording studio, these would be good for client monitors or tracking guitars. If you listen to acoustic music, jazz, funk, oldies, ASMR, you'll like these. But if you listen to bluegrass, country, metal, pop, techno, you're gonna have to tune your headphone amp to really get the tone that you want. I love them. I think they're great for my use case. I hope this informed you to make a better decision. I've never reviewed headphones before, and I found it quite difficult due to the subjective nature of audio. Everyone has different ears, and therefore certain tones will hurt one person while sounding pleasant to another. So if you find anything that I could do better, please put it in the comments and I'll try it on the next headphone review. Until next time.